MCC doesn't just want to do good or to provide help. We see ourselves as having a greater mission. We want to build capacity, help people so that they don't feel dependent. So in working with local partners, when MCC's gone, there's that community level trust and capacity, and that makes so much difference in how we do development.
Nisaidiaka sana. Ninapika kamo, nasikula mwitu, na kufula, na wengine wenye banaikosa mimi nawapatiaka kwayo.
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍សប្បាយចិត្តតើមិនដែលបានចាំកើទៅលក់បានផលមកគាត់ដោះស្រាយក្នុងជីវភាពខ្ញុំហ្នឹងណា
Conservation agriculture has come as an answer to the climatic change. It's part of the answer.
Kanya rinatano angaram te ore se doni toas nakarumo kai watasa.
শিক্ষা আমাদের আশা, শিক্ষা আমাদের ভরসা। শিক্ষা আমি শিখতে চাই, আনন্দ পেয়ে থাকতে চাই। শিক্ষা ছাড়া কোনো মূল্য নেই, চাকরি জীবনে দাম নেই। শিক্ষা জীবন সার্থক করব, সারা জীবন সুখে থাকব।
It has reduced the absenteeism of the girls. Then they participate in their class.
Coming out of prison is not easy. They make it really hard for you. A lot of places don't want to hire you because they look down on you. So here we give you a chance.
Ça pas de doute que la Bible, c'est source des droits humains. C'est source droit monde même, la Bible. C'est source droit monde. Dans Genèse 1er, verset 27, la Bible dit, Genèse 1er, 27, que bon Dieu crée l'homme à l'image. Je dis l'autre idée encore. Quand il nous dit, si véritablement, nous-mêmes en tant que chrétiens, la Bible n'a pas appliqué, c'est source droit monde, il faut que nous bataillons pour respect droit monde.
But when you're forced to actually interact with people whom you've stereotyped or labeled or characterized as an enemy and realize these are your brothers and sisters in Christ.
Côté nous que chaque bandit qu'on y a là au niveau prend une autre formation, c'est ça que moi-même j'ai essayé ouais formation ça que nous-mêmes nous déjà baillons pour nous-mêmes pour essayer de développer par communauté et par dehors communauté.
What I've noticed is that in Peace Club meetings, there's almost a sense of relief that they can finally talk about these things that they experience all the time. We put words to things that are going on that aren't addressed.
ما في شي هون واحد انه لا عاد خفت ولا عاد بكيت. ليش؟ لانه هون في امان.
Bueno, antes de empezar a trabajar la técnica de quilting para sanar, teníamos muchas heridas internas que no le prestábamos atención, pensábamos que no era nada, pero que nos estaban haciendo mucho daño a nivel personal y familiar.
I don't want to see my grandchildren lose our culture. I want to teach the children and our grandchildren our life.
I believe that change starts within, so you have to start within you, and then within your community, and then spread around. And I believe if each individual can play that small part, I think we can bring the kingdom of God here on earth as it is in heaven.
Mennonites in Ukraine were starving. There was war and disease and famine, and they wrote to their brothers and sisters in North America, "Can you help us? Can you help us?" And that is how MCC began. And so for a period of almost 2 years, MCC was feeding 25,000 people every day.
Displaced families are receiving sorghum, beans, cooking oil and salt. These food packages can literally save their lives. It's so encouraging to know that you're thinking of us.
Sijui ningefanya kwa sababu kama SSA ingekuwa kusaidia wakazi na wale wakimbizi wangeanza kuuana.
Coming in after a natural disaster is a very humbling experience. You see the incredible level of need. And then in the very long term, we've helped them build these soil conservation structures so that they can have productive gardens for years ahead that aren't subject to erosion, that are less vulnerable if another disaster comes.
I like the approach, the philosophy of MCC, and I try to put myself in the place of somebody in a refugee camp. I have nothing. I just think this will help. It's just a little drop in the bucket, but it helps.
I was a refugee after World War II. We ended up in Holland in a refugee camp. I remember distinctly when the meat arrived, and I recall the smell. Every time I smell beef, I think of those 2 jars when they were opened. The aroma was just fantastic.
And when you just think of the little children, cold, and they need something, cuddle up under a quilt, that's motivation.
Around 100 years ago, a group of Canadian and U.S. Mennonites saw Mennonites in Russia facing starvation and decided to help. Mennonite Central Committee was born. Today, following Christ's call and in partnership with communities and churches at home and around the world, MCC works with local people on local solutions, responding to basic human needs and working for peace and justice. After an earthquake shook Nepal, MCC responded with food and supplies for shelter. The rebuilding continues hand in hand with the communities affected. In the U.S., MCC partners with Kingdom Builder Construction, a Christian nonprofit company that offers former prisoners the chance to learn vocational skills. At home and around the world, MCC is committed to sharing God's love and compassion for all through disaster relief, community development, and peace building in the name of Christ.
Since it began a century ago, Mennonite Central Committee has been an integral mission partner of the church. Through MCC, churches respond to disasters and work with local initiatives to provide relief, development, and peace in the name of Christ. Providing food for the hungry, water for the thirsty, and welcoming the stranger, as Jesus says in Matthew 25. Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, you did it to me. In Zambia, we partner with BIC churches to provide quality education to nearly 10,000 students. In Ukraine, we partner with Mennonite Brethren churches to provide canned meat to vulnerable and displaced families. In South Korea, we partner with Anabaptist churches to provide peace education for students from across Northeast Asia. Through MCC's International Volunteer Exchange Program, young adults from outside the US and Canada have opportunities to build faith and leadership skills. They return to their community with new skills and global friendships. Anabaptist churches guide MCC through representation on our governing bodies. MCC workers also worship at churches in their local context. MCC and the church are together in mission. Thank you for partnering with us.
Bread. In God's name, bread.
Those words resounded day after day in the ears of American relief workers, haunted their sleeping hours, and woke them.
Mennonite Central Committee, MCC, began in response to the suffering happening in southern Russia in 1920. Millions were dying from war, epidemics, and starvation. Mennonites in Canada and the United States heard the call, and MCC was born.
Anabaptist groups came together because they felt called by Christ to do what was right.
And this is still the case today. MCC believes that to build a better world, we must start with peace.
We want to see communities reconciled to God, one another, and creation.
For 100 years, MCC has been meeting basic human needs and working for peace and justice in the name of Christ.
Responding to hundreds of disasters. Caring for displaced people.
partnering with people to find smart solutions to difficult situations, pioneering what today is known as fair trade, starting MCC thrift shops.
Each of these grassroots movements took on a life of its own, growing larger and helping more people than we ever thought possible. Today, we work around the world, including Canada and the United States, supporting local partners as they discover innovative solutions for their contexts.
Through our advocacy work, MCC amplifies the voices of our partners.
We do all this in the name of Christ, and we can't do it without your support.
Your time, money, prayers and donations of basic items like comforters and relief kits have been the backbone of our work.
And that work is not finished. In many ways, it feels like it's just the beginning. Thank you for being part of the MCC story. Please join us on this journey as we follow God's call into our next century.
When you walked into the room, I couldn't keep my eyes off of you. Was it make-believe, or was it a dream? I've been waiting all my life. Feels like I've struck a gold mine. With your hand in mine, our love came alive. We've still got the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. The rest of our lives. Oh, the rest of our lives.
With roots established in life-giving values, the Landis Community's family of brands is committed to cultivating abundant choices for aging adults, those excited to experience the rest of their lives together.
Good evening. My name is Ken Martin, and I serve as the chairperson of the Pennsylvania Relief Sale. With me tonight as co-host is Kendra Martin, our marketing coordinator. And yes, she's a Martin. She's my daughter-in-law.
Thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us.
The Pennsylvania Relief Sale started in 1957. It's a nonprofit organization whose sole mission is to raise funds for Mennonite Central Committee, also known as MCC. Each spring, we host a two-day event in Harrisburg filled with auctions, including the selling of quilts, children's activities, foods, and much more to celebrate community and create hope. To date, we've raised more than $17 million for MCC. But earlier this year, our event was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the domestic and global MCC programs in relief, development, and peace must continue. The needs have not lessened.
We're thrilled tonight to host this online concert event as we celebrate 100 years of hope, community, and healing with Mennonite Central Committee. Our Pennsylvania Relief Sale tagline is to celebrate community and to create hope. Tonight, we gather as a virtual community to support MCC. As funds are donated throughout this evening, we will be offering hope to the recipients of MCC's programs.
Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your generosity as you too support MCC. Let's pause for prayer. Oh God, we give you praise for a new day. We are thankful for the resources you provide to us. Nudge us to be focused on others and to share generously. We ask that you bless this gathering tonight as an act of service in the name of Christ. Amen.
Tonight, we celebrate the centennial anniversary of MCC. Throughout the evening, you can donate online or by mail. To donate online, you need to register for an account at charityauction.bid/concert2020. Click register at the top of the website and input your information, including a credit card. If you wish to mail in a donation, please send it to the address listed on the website.
We ask you, please donate with your heart. Our goal tonight is $50,000. Let's come together and raise these much-needed funds for MCC.
Okay, Ken, are you ready to get the show on the road?
Sure thing. Why don't you introduce our opening act?
A band of siblings from Ohio harmonize over acoustic pop music. In the last year, they've toured throughout the country. In spite of the pandemic, they are still actively singing and recording, including a new song for tonight's concert. Please join us in welcoming Girl Named Tom.
1, 2, 3.
This must be strange for you. This must be bliss for you. Having the man that you've always dreamed of, bending backwards just for you. You've got this other man. He once was your backup plan, but now he's the one that you've been dating. Why you keeping me here waiting? Oh, I don't know what else to say. I can tell you I'm not okay. Trying to love you without misbehaving, hoping y'all's love is disintegrating. No, I'm a pretty convincing man, here to help you understand. If you choose him, you miss me, you lose him. Believe me, I'll make you happier than he can. Whoa. I know this ain't a first for you, having two men thirst for you. Hour by hour you can pick and choose. You got the power which you use. You tell me that I'm the one that your morning needs, my son, but I got the feeling that you've got to deal in the cards of your heart to everyone. Oh, I don't know what else to say. I can tell you I'm not okay. Trying to love you without misbehaving, hoping y'all's love is disintegrating. No, I'm a pretty convincing man, here to help you understand. If you choose him, you miss me, you lose him. Believe me, I'll make you happier than he can. Whoa. Oh, I can treat you better. I can treat you better than he can. Whoa. But don't you remember, he once was your backup plan. Oh, I can treat you better. I'll treat you better than he can. Oh, but don't you remember, he once was your backup plan. Oh, I don't know what else to say. I can tell you I'm not okay. Trying to love you without misbehaving, hoping y'all's love is disintegrating. No, I'm a pretty convincing man, here to help you understand. If you choose him, you miss me, you lose him. Believe me, I'll make you happier than he can. Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, this looks pretty awesome.
We are Girl Named Tom, a band from Ohio, Archbold, Ohio. My name is Becca.
I'm Caleb. And I'm Joshua.
And we're the Lichty siblings. Our name is called Girl Named Tom because a long time ago, this guy decided to call me Thomas. So I am Tom in the band Girl Named Tom, and we are so excited to do this virtual concert for you tonight.
The funny thing is we were all homeschooled growing up, and our mom would, kind of drag us to these sewings. Mennonite women, and which we grew to adore. They become, actually, when you're homeschooled, you don't have many friends, so they were our best friends for a bit. And we tied knots, and I believe that was MCC, and that was a big part of our education, actually, when we were really young.
Caleb and I were very proud to be a part of Mennonite Women.
Yeah, we were like the two guys there. And they always had lunch.
Yeah. We felt accepted.
Yeah. From my perspective, I see it from the perspective of a kid still. I haven't been involved in MCC as an adult. And growing up, MCC was like Josh and Becca said, the model for how to be Christ in the world. And so any way we can support that, we will. Right now, the way we can support it most is time, but people out there who are able to provide funds to any organization involved with MCC, especially Pennsylvania Relief Fund, that's huge, especially in times like these.
So Psalm 23 is a song that was written by our dad, the music obviously, because King David wrote the lyrics, but it's a song that really uses a lot of nature references, and so we were really glad to be able to do this shoot on a beautiful day outdoors in Lancaster here. And so yeah, this is a song that our dad wrote, and it's really special to us.
And growing up, our parents would come in our bedrooms and sing to us, and they would harmonize, and they would sing Psalm 23 to us, and it was always such a comfort, no matter what was going on, what kind of day you had, just to be held in that song.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie in green pastures, He leads me by the stream, restores my soul, restores my soul. He guides me down the paths of righteousness, and it is all for His name's sake. And yeah, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me, and Thy rod and staff will surely comfort me. He prepares for me a table before me in the presence of my enemies. He anointeth my head with oil, my cup it overflows. Now surely goodness and mercy will follow all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of my Lord forevermore. And I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me, and Thy rod and staff will surely comfort me when He comes for me.
Wow, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you so much, Girl Named Tom. Ken Sensney, a Lancaster County farm boy like me, is the Assistant Executive Director of MCC East Coast. He is most known for his storytelling. Listen as he brings to life MCC's programs in relief, development, and peace. Welcome to our concert, Ken.
For 100 years, MCC work has demonstrated a core tenet, sometimes visible, sometimes invisible, but always energizing MCC's efforts. That central commitment is to share God's love and compassion for all in the name of Christ. Let's turn a few pages of the past century and witness this enduring commitment undergirding MCC's ministries. In 1920, Anabaptist churches in the U.S. and Canada responded to a troubling report from the part of Russia that is now Ukraine. Stories of deprivation and starvation among Mennonites caught their attention. Accounts of people seeking to survive by eating flour made from corn stalks and corn cobs pushed empathetic people into action, and MCC emerged. Caring people quickly assembled volunteers and funding, clothing and food. An operational base developed in Constantinople, today Istanbul, Turkey. Then bureaucracy ensnared the new organization. The emerging Soviet Union enacted demands that delayed any response. People died while waiting. Enter Alvin Miller, one of MCC's first service workers. His task when he arrived in Constantinople in January 1921, get Soviet permission for MCC to offer clothing and food to beleaguered families in Russia and Ukraine. Miller probed and prodded and persuaded for nearly a year. By December 1921, the desperate cries for bread, bread, in God's name, bread, could be matched with actions. Generous hearts in U.S. and Canada responded to hungry stomachs in Russia and Ukraine, giving life to the commitment of sharing God's love and compassion for all. The response in Russia set the stage for the future work of MCC. By the 1950s, MCC development work began in earnest. MCC workers and twin sisters Ada and Ida Stolzfus settled into Hebron, Palestine. As MCC volunteers for many years, they served two equally important functions. The orphanage and school they operated opened new opportunities for countless children. Their further contribution was opening the world to many friends, neighbors, and church peers back in the United States. Words and phrases like Palestine, Arab, Muslim, occupied territory became standard vocabulary among the twins' acquaintances. Ada and Ida, through action in Palestine and education in their home communities, demonstrated God's love and compassion for all. By 1961, MCC acknowledged that the U.S. and Canada also needed the witness of the church at work. In that year, MCC established a voluntary service unit in Atlanta, Georgia. Vincent and Rose Marie Harding from Chicago became the first African-American people to serve as directors in an MCC program. There in the American South, in the 1960s, service workers, both the quiet in the land and those who had suffered centuries of oppression because the quiet in the land remained quiet, sat at the same table. There in the Mennonite house on Houston Street, the Hardings created space where black voices engaged white hearers. Volunteers in Atlanta created a conduit to the larger church in their home communities. The Hardings stretched far to embrace that conversation. They provided a solid foundation, but institutional commitment seemed to lag behind the driving vision. Nearly 60 years later, MCC continues undoing the deep insidious sins of racism and white supremacy within itself and the church. In 1982, we find children from a conservative Mennonite school trying to change the mind of the most powerful man in the world. At MCC's encouragement, the students at Linville Hill Mennonite School asked Ronald Reagan to lift the U.S. embargo on school supplies to Cambodia, then known as Kampuchea. Student Anita Howe wrote, "Mr. President, I would really like to have the kids in Cambodia learn to go to school like I do." The president changed his mind. Cambodian children benefited because others, children like themselves, strove to live up to the ideal of God's love and compassion for all. As the turn of the 21st century approached, the South American country of Colombia remained politically and socially unsettled. The Colombian Mennonite Church addressed the disruption and trauma with a strong witness for peace and justice. MCC joined this effort, supporting land claims for rural farmers in the Colombian Caribbean coast zone. Years of conflict disrupted the lives and the livelihood of farm families. Ricardo Esquivia personified that struggle for many decades. At huge personal risk, Esquivia and other community leaders strove to deliver a resounding message of God's love and compassion for all. In Honduras in 2006, Gregoria Flores Nunez discovered that striving for fairness and justice can generate opposition. She found her work with indigenous rights angered some people. They sought to eliminate her influence in these communities. This Garifuna grandmother bears the bullet wound scars testifying to her commitment to the dispossessed. Flores Nunez found safety in the U.S. She brought a resolve to help others facing the hurdles she conquered. In 2016, she joined MCC to assist asylum seekers in their process of finding safety. During her time in MCC service, she turned her trauma into a powerful force that demonstrates God's love and compassion for all. After 100 years, MCC shares blessings with people in more than 50 countries. How? By demonstrating God's love and compassion for all in the name of Christ.
Thanks, Ken, for those very inspiring stories. Kendra, have you been watching the thermometer?
Yes, let's keep moving towards our $50,000 goal. Remember, you can register online to make a donation or mail a donation to the Pennsylvania Relief Sale.
We are really thrilled tonight to have the Steel Wheels as our featured act. Based in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, they are an Americana music group of folk musicians. They prepared an array of music especially for our concert tonight, and now what we've all been waiting for, the Steel Wheels.
Hello, Pennsylvania MCC. We are the Steel Wheels, and we're excited to play some music for you. So here we go. find your river, find your mountain. All right. Well, we are hanging out in Virginia today, outside in my carport, in front of the old woodpile, to play a few songs for you. And we hope wherever you're at, you have a nice warm spot to hang out and listen. We, during the time of the COVID shutdown, we took up the practice of commissioned songs from friends and fans of ours. And so this next song is one that was commissioned from a good friend out in Kansas who wanted a song about the Cottonwood River out in Kansas. And so we wrote this one, and though it's for Tim Diener out in Kansas, I think it's got a nice little word for all of us. It's called Water and Sky. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cottonwood River runs through Marion County. They built up the dam sometime in the 60s. Waters keep rising on the 4th of July. Durham will be on the water and sky. Winter turns spring and the morning is still. The ranchers will burn off the cedars until smoke rises high, and the smoke rises high. Take to the fields, pray to water and sky. Water and sky, pools in your eyes. Plans are all dreams to the water and sky. I was much younger, camp in the summer at the reservoir close to the Causeway Bridge. The sun went down, painted your eyes. You dive right in through the water and sky. Water and sky, pools in your eyes. Plans are all dreams to the water and sky. All across this nation, in isolation, I won't forget all the songs that we've sung. The Cottonwood River still runs deep and wide. It gathers together, it never runs dry. Water and sky never run dry. Plans are all dreams to the water and sky. Water and sky. Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of Kansas, I don't think I've ever been to the Pennsylvania MCC relief sale in any part of Pennsylvania. But I think I've been to the Virginia relief sale, the Indiana relief sale, the Kansas relief sale, a lot of MCC relief sales. And it's always a delight. It always feels like home to me. I remember as a kid, my dad used to always run in the Indiana relief sale. That was like a big thing of each year. And I never did. I had no interest in running. Still don't have any interest in running. But it was so cool to see how people would gather together and yeah, just sort of pool their resources, their efforts, and have a lot of fun to support this great organization. So, all right, let's keep with a water theme here. This one's called Riverside.
Take me down to the riverside. I wanna drink so deep. Well, well, well. Take me down to the riverside. I wanna drink so deep. Well, well, well. Nighttime knows when the cold wind blows. Ain't no shackles on my feet. Well, well, well. Take me down to the riverside where the sun don't burn no more. Well, well, well. Take me down to the riverside where the sun don't burn no more. Well, well, well. River tree done said to me, come and lay down by your shore. Well, well, well. Gonna dig, dig, dig deep in that mud. Let my temperature cool down. Well, well, well. Dig, dig, dig deep in that mud. Let my temperature cool down. Well, well, well. Roots just keep on spreading out. That's the only thing I found. Well, well, well.
All right, guys. That was fun. Well, yeah, it's a little chilly out here, but it's all part of the fun. I guess it'd be nice to introduce the band. Over here playing that fiddle for you and singing those harmonies on that last song. That's Eric Brubaker. Hey. And the man back here playing the calabash predominantly today and some alternate percussion. Often you'll find him on a drum kit, but today making lots of sounds with a pumpkin. Give it up for Kevin Garcia. We'll wait for the applause. And then over here playing the bass for you and singing some harmonies as well. That's Mr. Brian Dickel. Thank you. I didn't expect such a huge man.
They love me.
And my name is Trent. I'm Trent Wagler. I play this guitar and some banjo and sing for you. So, wow, we're gonna do this song. I guess I was in a water mood when
It was raining.
It was raining this morning, so.
Trouble the water. Why don't you wait in the water? gonna trouble the water. I said, God's gonna trouble the water. I said, God's gonna trouble the water.
All right, guys. That was really fun.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Whew. All right. Better make sure we're in tune here. By we, I mean all of my strings. Well, it is a pleasure to get to play these songs for you, wherever you are, whoever you are. It's been a strange year for a lot of people. Some people have been impacted more than others, but I don't think it's been a normal year for about anybody. So it's nice that we can still have these times to enjoy each other's company, even if it's not the way we normally do. So. There we go. All right.
I don't want to tell you stories if there are no happy ends, but I'll walk this road beside you. I will learn to be a friend. When the black cloud comes to rising and the cold is getting low, so low, I will love you, I will love you, I will, yes I will. I will greet you in the morning with a smile on my face. When that sun is done its shining, we will find a resting place. When the black cloud comes to rising and the cold is getting low, so low, I will love you, I will love you, I will, yes I will. When this road has made you weary, too much sorrow, too much joy, I'll be the hope that you can touch, dear. I'll be the laughter you enjoy. When the black cloud comes to rising and the cold is getting low,
I will love you. I will love you. I will. Yes, I will. All right. Wouldn't that be unfortunate? Well, I did grow up in a Mennonite family and went to a Mennonite university, but before that went to a Mennonite church. My dad was a pastor at a Mennonite church for many years, and I'm just establishing my credibility. But also my grandparents started out Amish, and they did leave the Amish community. In part, I would say, because my grandfather had a hard time following all the rules, and this song kind of gets some of the inspiration from that. He used to tell this story. Grandpa was very into music, and I do credit him with some of my interest and passion in music. But as many of you may know, the Amish community, at least where Grandpa grew up, they didn't allow any musical instruments. And he and some of his friends didn't quite like all those rules, and they somehow got a hold of some instruments on the sly, and they hid those instruments away in the hayloft usually. And he used to tell this story where you couldn't always tell. It was one of those grandpa stories where we couldn't tell if it was actually a story about him or if it was, I had a friend who did this thing, whether it was him or if it was actually a friend, but where they played their music the night before, and when they got home, they forgot to hide that guitar back in the hayloft, and they left it underneath the buggy seat, and that's where this song gets its inspiration. So I hope you like it. This one's called Take a Picture, Lose Your Soul. Jesus' name. All that's left of my guitar are the tuner's birds and scars. But don't take a picture shun me, it is said. Staying is the longer dare. Don't take a picture, you might just lose your soul. Whew, all right. This isn't the quietest Mennonite crowd we've ever played for. We have. You guys are a very, very polite bunch often, is what I mean to say. We love it. Very good listeners. I'm just going to double check something real fast. They look great. Look at those guys. Okay. Here, we can edit this moment, can't we?
We are now.
A good spot for. Yeah.
Double check.
No, I'm. Maybe we want to keep that spot in. This hour-long show we're doing for you kind of fell into our laps in a certain way. We are not a band that lives all in the same community, and so we have not been able to be together. We're usually 5 pieces, meaning we are still missing one member, our good buddy Jay Lapp, who's living up in Michigan and wasn't able to make it to Virginia for a couple shows that we're doing in the Valley. But we got Kevin here, and Kevin lives in Brooklyn, New York, and this is this first time that we've had a chance to see him since the pandemic hit. And so it's a special treat, and we figured why not take an hour of time while Kevin's here to play this little show with 4 of us instead of 3 of us. So it's kind of a special thing for us to get to be together for you, and I hope it's special for you as well. It's very special to be on my street, where evidently today is a good day for lots of big trucks to drive and turn around. So maybe we'll give that just a second before we start into the next one. Yep, he found the clutch and dropped a transmission right there in the little circle. No, we'll see. We'll pick it up later. All right. This is another song that was partly inspired by my grandfather. One of the tunes that he brought with him through the years was this old this old tune he used to play on his harmonica long after he left the Amish community. And when I first started playing folk music, I sat down with Grandpa, and this was one of the tunes that we would always play together. And so a few years later, we wrote some words to this tune and kind of made it our own. And it's an old song called Red Wing. Here you go. In the summer sun, 1981, the day was long till I heard the song whisper like the wind. I was standing there, dust was flying through the air, like days before when we believed in things we couldn't see. Oh, my red wing, take me softly to my home now, to my family.
Take me softly to my home now, to my family. Oh, my red wing, hold me closely. Take me under the brightest sun. Well, money she has none. She was never won by metal wings or death machines or anything between. When my time has come and all my days are done, if heaven waits, we'll breach the gates. On her wings we'll be one. Oh, my red wing, take me softly to my home now, to my family. Oh, my red wing, hold me closely. Take me under the brightest sun. Oh, my red wing, take me softly to my home now, to my family. Oh, my red wing, hold me closely. Take me under the setting sun.
All right. Well, here's another one of the new songs that we've written. We wrote during the pandemic, during the shutdown. We actually, as a band, like I said, we were all isolated from one another, and we recorded over 65 songs, and counting, in isolation from one another. So we were sending little, like Eric would send his fiddle track, and I would send a vocal track, and Brian sends a bass track, and we'd all send them to Kevin, and he would piece them all together, mix them around, send it to us in a final version, and we would say, boy, this needs to change, or this sounds perfect. And out of that process, we actually now have a new album that's coming out November 20th. I'm not completely clear when this will go up in front of you, so if that's in the past, it already came out at November 20th. If it's in the future, it's just about to come out. I apologize for giving away the fact this is not live, but all of the songs on this new album, the album is called Everyone a Song, Volume 1, and they're all new songs that we wrote during the pandemic, as I mentioned before, from people's commissions. So we wrote songs for weddings that happened during the pandemic. We wrote songs for all kinds of occasions, just to try to cheer some relative up who's having a hard time. We wrote them as tributes to members of families who had passed on. And this next song was a song we wrote for a woman who had her retirement party during the pandemic. And she had worked as a physical therapist for nearly 40 years. And she was an amazing woman, and still is. And this one is called The Healer. So here we go. Time I saw you, all I saw was your smile, like you were holding all the secrets, some kind of signal get your style. Everybody gathers round you. Watch you light up the room. Bring any pain that you're feeling. You know exactly what to do. Up in Northern California, where they grow the tallest tree, you're running Strawberry Canyon. You feel the wisdom in the leaves. You were burning the oil through the morning and the night, but you were planted in the soil. Soaking up the light, Now to that emerald city, put down some roots of your own. They say the rain makes you gritty. It made you even more at home. You were telling all your secrets. You were learning something new. Yeah, you built up a union. Together we improve. Yeah. You have a simple superpower. You listen deeply, listen true. And how it grew up like a tower. It is the legacy of you. When you gather round you, watch you light up the room. Bring any pain that you're feeling. Know exactly what you do. Yeah. Eric Brubaker on that fiddle. All right. Yeah. That's a tune called Dragging Your Heels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Backs. All right.
I believe it's getting colder out here.
It is, isn't it? These bright lights, they don't heat anybody up. All right, so now Kevin's gonna show off his melodica skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the big keyboard out. This one goes out to some friends of ours in Michigan. This is another one of the songs that we wrote for that new album, Everyone a Song. And it's, I don't know, to me, when I think about the MCC relief sale, I do think about family, and I think about the ways it encourages a larger family with some of the activities, as well as just the mission and hope that is there in throughout MCC. So this is a song that was for a sort of the matriarch of a family up in Michigan. Her 80th birthday was during the pandemic, and we wrote this one for her. It's called Family is Power. March me down the stairs, see the April flowers, May, always there for sweet and for sour. She's gonna see the truth in me in the golden hour. Come to the table, one and all. Family is power. Away, away, I'm gone away. I can't live without you. Away, away, I'm gone away. All I do is dream about you. Citrus trees and ocean breeze, nothing to complain. When I think on my family, I wanna climb aboard that train. Head on up to Michigan, Walloon Lake, my home. I can see clear in the water there, I will never be alone. Nevermore be alone. Away, away, I'm gone away. I can't live without you. Away, away, I'm gone away. All I do is dream about you. March me down the stairs, see the April flowers, May, always there for sweet and for sour. She's gonna see the truth in me in the golden hour. Come to the table, one and all. Thanks, guys. We got time for a few more, I'd say. I'd say so. Let's do it. Have a little fun.
Hold me like the river where the boat does sway, going down south for my sugar cane. Don't sing a note if you don't sing true. Go into that place where the song sings you. Oh, there they go again, tell another story like I don't speak French. Oh, there they go again, breaking like the sun when the day comes in. Hear the fiddle double with the squeeze box now. Get into the melody, but don't sit down. Bring on the night. Go get your shoes, get your dress on, honey. Make it blue. Oh, there they go again. Tell another story like I don't speak French. Oh, there they go again. Breaking like the sun when the day comes in. Go to Opelousas where the spirit moves. Ancestry is dancing, you got nothing to prove. This is where you started and this is where you'll end, because your heart starts beating to that rhythm again. I say, oh, there they go again, tell another story like I don't speak French. Oh, there they go again, breaking like the sun when the day comes in. Woo! Oh, there they go again, tell another story like I don't speak French. Oh, there they go again, breaking like the sun when the day comes in. Oh, there they go again, tell another story. No, I don't speak French. Oh, there they go again, breaking like the sun when the day comes in. Woo.
All right. We got a couple more for you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. This one's called Rains Come.
No one ever told me it would be like this. No one ever said that it would be like this. Haven't seen a prophet that I believe yet. No one ever told me it would be like this. When the rains come, is it gonna be a new day?
crash over the trees. Some people just have to see, but we just won't believe. When the rains come, it's gonna be a new kind of day. Oh, no one ever told me it would be like this. No one ever said that it would be like this. Haven't seen a prophet that I believe in. No one ever told me it would be like this. When the rains come, is it gonna be a new day? Well, again, thank you so much to MCC for having us. Thanks for listening and watching. And oof, I need to tune this banjo. Sorry. Where did my tuner go? Oh, it's back here. I guess I'll just say while I tune this banjo that on a personal note, MCC has always been a very important organization to me. I spent a year in the Gaza Strip with an organization called SALT, Serving and Learning Together, that was an MCC project, and that year that I spent with a lot of both Arab Christians as well as lots of Muslims in the Gaza Strip was a huge learning and formative experience for me. Taught me so much that I continue to call back on every day, and I have a lot of hope when I think about the work that MCC does around the world, and it's very inspiring, and it's something that I draw upon when I think about the work that we do to try to write stories into song and relay those stories to other people. And I think that same connection is what MCC has been doing for years, in a way of bringing these stories back to the church and making it human so that we continue to feel more connected across the world. And so thank you to MCC for the work that they do, and every single person in every part of that organization that does one little drop in the bucket that is such great work. So anyway, thank you for having us and for allowing us to be a part of this, and we'll leave you with this one called Scrape Me Off the Ceiling. Got me on my heels so long that I'm barely breathing. Tell me something hard to hear, scrape me off the ceiling. When I go, I'll be gone, wouldn't be wasted. Clap your hands, here I stand. heaven's keeping, baby, sleeping. You know I'm trying, we're living, dying. Share the feeling. Tell me something hard to hear. Scrape me off the ceiling. Hold me lightly. Keep me tightly. Memories surround us. Lost us, found us. Well, that's all for us. That's Eric Brubaker on the fiddle, Kevin Garcia on the percussion and the keyboard, Mr. Brian Dickel on the bass. I'm Trent Wagler. We're the Steel Wheels, or four-fifths of the Steel Wheels. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joe. Well, Kendra, what did you think of tonight's concert?
Well, I was certainly impressed with tonight's concert. A Girl Named Tom, the Steel Wheels, such great musical inspiration during these uncertain times. I'm in awe of MCC and their committed service for 100 years to meet global needs.
I echo your sentiments. I sincerely hope that all of us will respond with generous hearts to contribute toward the mission of MCC. We would love to break that thermometer. We hope you too have enjoyed tonight's concert and have experienced a healing spirit and a renewed sense of hope. I'd like to especially thank the organizing group for tonight's event. Diane Croft, Daryl Yoder, John Beitler, Dale Hershey, and Alyssa Cross.
And we want to make sure to thank our premier sponsor, Landis Communities, as well as our supporting sponsors. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Well, does that conclude the evening, Kendra?
Well, any good concert wouldn't be concluded without an encore performance. For a final time, the Steel Wheels.
Talk me down, hold
me down. Morning news goes round and round. Shots ring out, same buses, same routes. Is there a new way to scream and shout? But tell me again, that love will always win, even if you don't know if you believe. You hide your doubts all over the house, locked up and loaded till no one is free. Shame, shame, can't remember the name. And every new normal is never the same. But tell me again, that love will always win, even if you don't know if you believe. You hide your doubts all over the house, locked up and loaded till no one is free. Tell me again, love will always win, even if you don't know if you believe. You hide your doubts all over the house, locked up and loaded till no one is free.
Thank you guys so much.